Most people think manufacturing in ERP is rigid and complicated. But what if I told you ERPNext can actually bend as per your need and not the other way around? Hi, I'm Mukesh from Finbyz, and today we'll learn how you can modify the ERPNext system to match to your way of processing the manufacturing. We can configure and customize the bill of materials, we can customize the work orders, and we can also manage different ways of serial number, scanning, and printing. So let's dive deep into it and understand how different companies, different industries are processing their workflows in ERPNext. This is a door manufacturing company where bill of material is defined in pretty standard way. You have a finished item, you have all the raw materials used for manufacturing that finished item, which is a door, and you have all the operations defined in the operations tab. This is pretty much standard way of making a bill of material in ERPNext. Another standard way, when you don't have to just manage the operations, but you also want to manage the inventory at various stages. So for that, the another possible way could be defining a multi-stage bill of material. Now, instead of just manufacturing the finished item directly from the raw material, what you are going to do is you are going to manufacture one sub-assembly item. So here 550 body F is the sub-assembly item. Then another sub-assembly item is 550 body SB. Then third sub-assembly item is 550 body MS. And final item which we sell it to the customer is 550 body VMC. Now if I go into this, each bill of material will have its own operations. So this VMC, which is last one, and if you want to see the first one, which is the F item, which is this one, will have all these raw materials. So these are like two operations over there. Each stage there is one or two more operations, so you have maybe 5 or 6 operations but divided into multiple bill of materials. Now, some people don't even want to manage the operations because that increases their entry efforts. So instead of going with full end, where you will be managing the manufacturing with the operations, you skip the operations at the first stage. You just care about the inventory. This is a minimal setup which you can go for. So this is another example where operations are not at all defined. What has been defined is only the raw materials. Now here we also added one nuance where they wanted to have certain things based on the merge to be captured, which will be also used at the time of work orders. This is very specific use case. Similar kind of specific use cases are also designed by us for the chemical industry, where instead of one finished good, they are getting multiple output finished goods. Another nuance is managing the yield and the concentration that has also been added over here. So as you can see, even though ERPNext is same in all different places, there is different way of managing the bill of material itself, which has been defined or which can be customized in ERPNext to make your life much more easy. Same way, if I show you, there are multiple ways on which the work orders can be processed. Here we can see there is a work order which has been defined. Now in this, we generate the serial numbers at the very beginning. So if I take the printout of this, you can see the serial number and the barcodes are printed upfront. So on each of the next process, these barcodes will be scanned. So if I go to the connections and the job cards which are being created through this, on each job card you can see whenever it is finished they have scanned the barcode, and that scanning has led this particular serial number getting printed over here. Based on this, the total quantity completed is getting calculated. Other features are pretty standard of ERPNext, where your from time and to time and total operation time is getting captured. To complete a job card, they have to scan the serial number. That's the nuance we introduced in this particular instance. Now, in another instance, their problem was totally different. They didn't wanted to do that much effort in the job card, going into each job card separately and doing the operations. They wanted the job cards to be so easy that anybody can do it without even going into job cards. So we customized the whole work order where they just put the completed quantity and process loss quantity, and accordingly the whole manufacturing entry and job card entry is being completed. If you go into connection, all the job cards are automatically created and submitted instead of person creating it. And same way, the stock entries of finish will automatically will be created and completed. So this is another way of managing the manufacturing which was customized into the default flow. Another customer where they didn't wanted to generate the CL numbers at the time of operations or the manufacturing. What they wanted to do was actually they wanted to generate the CL numbers in very large quantities. Maybe at a time millions of CL numbers are being generated. So we created a CL number generator. What happens is you define this CL number generator from value and to value, and it will generate all the CL numbers in the system. They export this file of serial numbers and provide it to their printing house. These stickers also have to be printed on the kind of material which does not go away in the water, because the parts can get wet, and if they lose the sticker, the warranty and everything is associated with this particular serial number. So this particular nuance was getting created. But they also had another requirement as well. Each time in their manufacturing process, they wanted to capture which are the serial numbers which are packed into which box. So we created a separate document where they scan all the serial numbers which were pre-printed and applied to the part while manufacturing process. They will scan it over here so that they know this particular serial number is getting activated. And whenever these all documents are created, they just click on this button and the manufacturing entry of the work order will be passed by the system, capturing all the packings of that specific work order. Also, we print this thing. So here, if you go on the print, what they do is whenever they submit, it automatically generates this particular printout with the barcode. And this barcode is not of the item, but it is actually of the package. And this barcode is getting applied on the whole box. This instance has been generating millions of serial numbers and able to manage the whole thing in ERPNext. Next, the way ERPNext works is you have to go into work order and pass the stock entry by default to finish any work order. But a client had a requirement where they wanted to put all the yarns into one box, and each box will be printed with a barcode. So they wanted an easy way of entry where they put the whole thing on a machine and all these weights come automatically. So carton weight, your number of packages, and your gross weight, net weight, everything captured automatically over here by their machine. And they just bring in, put all the bobbins into it, and click a button on their machine, and this particular row will appear over here. Only thing they do is click on this particular print button, and it's going to print that barcode, and that will be applied to that box. The processes are happening really fast. If you see them doing it, you will be amazed how fast they do it, because they have been doing this only day in day out. Once they submit this particular entry, automatically this work order finish entry will be passed and raw materials will be consumed. So as I shown you, these are just few examples, but in real life there are multiple such things which we have customized and configured in ERPNext to suit the requirements of our customers. There is not one solution that fits to all industries or all the customers. We have to understand the problems, how they want to do it currently, what are the processes they are adopting it, and accordingly we mold the solution to fit it into their industry as easily as possible. That's what the implementation job is. Not like something has been developed and you just use it because it has been developed. That's a wrong approach. What we do is we charge you for the services of molding it to your requirement rather than giving the whole software in certain price. how the manufacturing dashboard looks like in ERPNext. So this is one of the dashboard. This is out of the box. It has not been customized or configured. It will show you how the manufacturing quantity has been moving over the year on weekly basis. Same way how many operations are completed on any period of time. If I change this particular period from last year to, let's say, last quarter, I can do it from here. I want to see the daily things. I don't want to see the weekly. How much operations have been completed on daily basis, so I can see that. Same way, you can see certain other reports. You can also see the work order analysis, how many are completed and what are the pending orders. You can also see the job card analysis, where you will be able to see how many job cards have been completed in any particular month. So it's a pretty handy tool. This is just one dashboard, but there are a number of such dashboards which are available for all different modules. We can also customize or create your own dashboards as well. Like, if you can see, these two, today's activity and weekly activity, has been created by us separately. This shows how many orders we have received in last week, how many incoming outgoing bills are there, what is the incoming outgoing payment is there, and work order and everything. So if you have like whole week's summary, you can just have it through looking at this dashboard. Same way, this is weekly activities by different users is something which can be seen, sales order and purchase order trends. So this is a custom dashboard which does not come out of the box from ERPNext, but has been built by us based on the client requirements. So you can also build these kind of dashboards as per your requirement. There are endless features in ERPNext. It's a consultative process. We have to understand your pain points, your working style, and configure and customize the ERP accordingly. Let us do the implementation in right way. Let us have that consultative approach started. Thank you so much.